Alrighty, tube you, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gents. Today's video is kind of a good one, I guess. Kind of an embarrassing one. Yeah. So remember my last video where I told you guys that I feel like it was something simple, something silly, and yeah, it's literally in our faces the entire time. It's literally been in my face multiple times. Yeah, I'm just going to show you guys this. So this is the old fuel pump, one of the old fuel pumps. The other two are obviously still in the tank. This is the one that I replaced because we thought it was bad. This was supposed to be the #1 fuel pump. Now, read that right there. What does that say? Right there between the numbers and made in USA. What does that say? No check valve. So a lot of you right now, there's 3 of these in the fuel pump assembly. There's 3 of these right now. No check valve. A lot of you right now are smacking your foreheads and going, "Oh my God." Yeah, you're smacking your foreheads because you know exactly what that means. 3 of these with no check valve. A lot of you already know exactly what that means. So when Tim reached out and he said, it sounds like there's an internal fuel leak within the assembly itself. There has to be an O-ring or something that's loose. So I was like, okay. So what's next? So the options were to send them the assembly and they'll find the leak, or I can take it out and I can find a leak. Well, there was no need. We found the freaking leak. The leak is the pumps. The leak was literally the freaking pumps. That's why we were not maintaining fuel pressure. So my buddy Brandon works on a lot of Mustangs and things like that. You guys have seen him in a couple of my videos. He always comes to the track with his Mustangs, his pace car, stuff like that. He actually sold a pace car, sad day. But he has other Mustangs and stuff like that. But he's real big in racing. He went straight to the Ford's website, pulled up this fuel pump. Once I told him that I had 3 of these, he was like, well, it says no check valve, so maybe you're not like keeping pressure and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know, man. If that doesn't really make sense, because how was it keeping pressure before? And you know, that's what made sense to me. Like, how the hell was it keeping pressure before? Well, it wasn't keeping pressure. Like I said, we went back and looked at the logs. This thing was not keeping pressure at any point. So yeah, the fuel leak was the fuel pumps. That point simple. And he called it out. And then another buddy of mine, once I posted that last video, he actually commented, is Nathan Cartwright. Shout out to Nathan once again. He actually put together like a 5-minute video, chopped it up in a couple of sections and sent it to me with a whole diagram. Like, he did not have to do that. And once he broke it down and explained it to me, nothing else made any sense. Like, that was the only thing that made sense. Once he broke down the video and like with the diagram, he literally had a diagram on a piece of paper, drawing it, explaining everything. I'm just like, that's the only thing that makes sense. I'm actually going to post a video for you guys to check it out. So go ahead and check it out right here.
Okay, so when you have one pump running, you're pushing your fluid this way, and the intention is to go to the regulator, to the engine with your 60 pounds of base, and returning the extra flow to your fuel tank. See, which is the way it should go. In each pump, there should be a check valve. And if you don't have a check valve, here, here, and here, when you don't have this pump running, this fuel from here could be heading back through both the pumps 2 and 3 back into the suction side of the pump and into your fuel tank. See, but if you run 2 pumps, 1, 2, now this pump is going this way also, right? So it's not allowing pump 1 to go back through pump 2 and pump 3, and now you're forcing the flow of 2 pumps, which these are probably what, 400s, through just one hole in 3, which will only flow X amount. You understand? So 2 pumps, this small hole that it's feeding through can only flow, let's say, 200 liters of fuel, or, you know, even 350 out of it, but you're trying to force 800 through it. That's where you see your pressure. You'll see 80 pounds again, because you only have one small leak flow, so your return regulator is actually working and regulating your fuel to 60 or 80 PSI, because this flow is more than this leak plus the engine's taking, so it returns the rest. So I would bet if you have like I've got an Aeromotive regulator and the bottom lines your return, the side, and the other side goes to the engine, or some people put it right on the fuel rail. If you cap this return here and turn only one pump on, you'll still see only 20 psi of fuel, and that's one good way of testing that it's actually leaking back through your pumps, because it physically can't be going out the return anymore, and it's not going through the engine because your injectors are closed. So double check. I would look into it, but I can pretty much guarantee, and that's why on 2 pumps or even 3, you're getting all the fuel that you need. So either always run 2 pumps and use the third as a big, when you're under big boost, or you have to somehow get rid of this line so you're only running 2 pumps all the time, or get check valves put in each one of these lines, which it sucks. I'm sure it's not as simple as like my setup with an external pump, but this is what I pretty much can guarantee that you're doing. It's leaking back through pump 2 and 3 when pumps 2 and 3 are off, and it's only leaking back through 3 when you have 2 pumps on. But you're still losing the amount that it can flow, which is all of except for 20 psi of your first flow. Like there'd be calculations to figure it out, but you don't even have to get that technical. But if you call for, if you got 400s, so you got 1200, sorry, this paper's moving. If you got 1200 liters for fuel and you need, 900, you're borderline to it if this is leaking 300 through. So that's where I'd look. God, I was just thinking about it. So another explanation is this is why it doesn't matter if you've picked 1, 2, or 3, but only when you're running 1 pump, it'll still be leaking out of 2. So if 2 is on, it'll leak out of 3 and 1. If 3 is on, of course, it leaks out of 2 and 1. See what I mean? That's where I came to the conclusion that it's leaking back through the pumps, because it doesn't matter which pump you pick, but once you have more than 1 pump on or all 3 pumps on, you're not leaking through the pumps because it's pushing pressure. It can't flow back through it. The pressure this pump is pushing is greater than the flow of pushing back on it, right? It has to start moving in one direction because you got pumps pushing. So that's just the last explanation.
So with him explaining all of that, I'm pretty sure all of you guys are like, yep, that makes perfect sense. That makes a lot more sense. And once he said that, and I sent the little clip from Ford's website. It actually says do not use in stage applications, which is what I have, a stage application. As soon as I sent it, he responded back. He's like, yep, so-and-so ran into the exact same problem this weekend with his car at the track. So I guess they went with this build or went with that setup in someone else's car, and the same thing happened. Like, he wasn't keeping fuel pressure, so what they ended up doing was simply swapping around the signal and the something else, the boost reference wire and the signal cable. They just swapped them around. So now we're running 2 pumps full time, which is probably not ideal because there's a lot of fuel, a lot of heat generated off of one of these big ass pumps, and it's probably not ideal. It actually says for those pumps below these, the 285s, because these are 295s, it actually says to not use these full time because of how much heat they put off. It says to pair 285s if you have a triple pump system, 285s with a 274, because the 274 is more recommended for daily driving, putting around town and stuff like that. But a lot of guys that I know and a lot of people that other shops that I spoke to and things like that, they all said they run 285s and they're triples. So if something does end up happening to these right now, like I said, they're running fine right now, so I'm just gonna roll with it. If something ends up happening to these, we're just going to replace them with 285s. It's going to be the step below these, and that's what everyone else is running, so we should be good on that front. Should be flowing more than enough fuel. Obviously, we got the injector for it, so, and yeah, we'll be good in that front. So, listening to him explain it, you guys saw it right there. There's no need for me to touch on it anymore. So, yeah, that's basically exactly what the problem was. Not ideal, not how the system is intended to run, but it works. So we're just gonna roll with it for now. And I've done the logs, we've sent them off. I made a couple of pulls, went out there, did some 6130s. 6130s are looking damn great. Actually, I did it full weight with groceries and my wife in the car, 6130, and hey, she's moving. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, she's moving damn good for a full weight. Like I'll prove it to you guys. Passenger seat, entire rear seat, even the bench is back in the car. So yeah, full weight. And it still outran my old car with the 275 and 10% lower, the old Hellcat we had. So still outran that full weight with groceries and a passenger. That's impressive to me. So logs look good, air fuel ratio looks good. Yeah, she's happy now. She's happy now. I'm happy now. Problem has been fixed, or problem has been solved, and I'm glad we just figured it out, man. We got the revision tune loaded up, went out there, drove on it, tested it out a little bit, and yeah, she's happy. She's running good. So now we have an extra 295 here, so might throw that in if we ever need it, but I doubt we will. Like I said, if something comes up, we're probably just going to end up going with the 285s. I'm probably just going to step down to 285s. Simply because they do have check valves, and obviously they don't flow as freely because they have the check valves, so they're not going to flow as freely, but they still flow a ton. They flow more than enough for our power level right now and our power goal in the future. They're going to be just fine. So yeah, that's it. That's really it, guys. We figured it out. It was the pumps were the fuel leak. Kind of embarrassing. Super unfortunate that it took this long to figure it out, but hey, we got to figure it out. It's something simple, just like I freaking said. I knew it was something simple. Thankfully, it wasn't anything electrical. I didn't have to replace more components, taking shit off. Thankfully, it wasn't that. It's literally just swapping the cable over, and now we are good to go. And now 2 pumps are running full time. The third one comes on under boost once it sees 5 pounds of boost. That's all I got for you guys, man. It's your first time stopping by, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you guys get notifications when these videos go up. So go to the Instagram channel at load376slow, all one word. I'll put it down in the description. Until next time, 2 of you, I'm out.